Good morning. Yeah. All right, let's get right to work. You are going to need to have a partner for today's session. It could be the person on this side. It could be the person on this side. I don't care, but make a choice right now. Go. Who is it? You got a partner? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. Then you go, ta-da! Show me your partner. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Now, some people were sitting there like this, and the person on this side went, ta-da! The person on this side went, ta-da! They went, ha! If that happened to you, you choose the two on this side or the two on this side. Say, please take me, and you make 3, okay? Now, take your workbooks. Open to page number 17. Let's get to work. Isn't that a good-looking guy, huh? Turn to page 18. Let's go. Now, you want to do well today in business, right? You want to survive, you want to succeed, you want to grow, you want to thrive. To do that, you need to be excellent in a number of categories. Category number 1, you've got to have today an excellent product. P-R-O-D-U-C-T. Please write it down. You've got to have a great product. Whether it's tractors or telephones, insurance policies or medical procedures, your product has got to be real good. Better than good, because your competitors are. Take a look at the PC business. Who was the first company that had excellent PCs? IBM. Today, how many companies have got great PCs? Lots, and they're all assembled here in Malaysia. Yeah, everybody's got excellent product today. That's not enough to succeed any longer. Now you need to not only have an excellent product, you've also got to have a way of getting your product to the customer. A system for delivering your product that's also excellent. I call it an excellent delivery system. Please write it down. Delivery system. And it's got to be excellent. Now, IBM used to have a better delivery system than anybody. It was called the man from IBM. He wore the white shirt and the red tie and the blue suit. And he used to come to your office and sell, install, maintain, train on how to use the computer. Nobody could beat the man from IBM. Until along came a 23-year-old, kind of overweight, American college student in Austin, Texas, named Michael Dell. Michael said, pick up the phone and give me a call. Tell me how you want your computer configured. How big do you want the hard drive? How fast do you want the modem? How big do you want the screen? How big is the... Tell me what software you want to have loaded. We'll take care of it. We'll do it for you. We'll put it in a box. We'll ship it to you by Federal Express. It'll arrive on your doorstep by 10:30 in the morning. Take it out of the box. Put it on the table. Plug it in. Turn it on. Who needs the man from IBM? What happened to IBM's stock price? What happened to Michael Dell's stock price? Vroom. But you know what? The computers are the same. In fact, Michael Dell promises you that his computers are IBM compatible. But here's a full-page ad from your New Straits Times yesterday, and it says, when you want megahertz and megabytes without megabucks, who should you call? Michael Dell. How can he do that? How can he give you more for less? He's got a better delivery system. But you know what? IBM's not stupid. Today, you can buy from IBM a little division called IBM PC Direct. You call them on the telephone. You tell them how you want the computer configured. You tell them what software you want loaded. They'll ship it to you by Federal. Right. So when your product is excellent and their product is excellent, when your delivery system is great and your competitor's delivery system is great, how are you going to stand out? You got to have excellent. Yeah, write it down. Right. Oh, but wait. Don't you need a product in order to serve your customer, yes or no? Don't you need to have a delivery system to get your product to the customer, yes or no? So what are we talking about here that's different from this and this? People, that's right. We're talking about the human side. Now, what do people have that products and delivery systems don't have. I'll give you a hint. And hearts, right. Minds. The ability to think, the ability to anticipate, the ability to go the extra mile. I call it a service mindset. A service mindset, a way of thinking, a way of instinctively responding to a situation. And you know what? This category is so important that it can overcome temporary problems in these two categories. It's also so crucial that if you mess it up in this category, it can destroy an enormous investment in these two categories. Let me give you two real examples. Happened to me. I live in Singapore. I've been based there for the past 8 years. I train all around the region and all around the world. Every once in a while, a new restaurant opens up. Recently in Singapore, there's a new sandwich shop. A delicatessen, they call it. You can buy your sandwiches there. It opened up. I said to some of my colleagues, let's go try the new sandwich shop. They said, you try first. Tell us how it is. One brave soul said, I'll go with you. Off we went. For lunch, to the new sandwich shop. We walked up to the door. As we got to the front door, a young man named Michael comes up and goes, hi, my name is Michael. How are you today? Is it your first time here? And we were like, I thought he was on drugs or something, you know. I said, yeah, first time. He said, come on, let me get you a good seat. He sat us down over by the window, brought us water, brought us the menu, said, take a moment, look at the menu, choose anything you want, I'll get it to you right away. Okay, yeah, sure. Wow, this guy is switched on. Now, I'm a vegetarian, so I ordered the vegetable platter. My colleague ordered the tuna salad sandwich. Michael said, terrific, I got your order, I'll be right back. Ran to the kitchen. Moments later, came out with our lunch. We started to eat. My vegetable platter was great. My friend was not so thrilled with his tuna salad sandwich. About 5 minutes later, Michael came back and said, how is everything? How is it? I said, oh, Michael, it's good. It tastes delicious. My friend said, it's okay. Michael noticed. He said, sir, I can tell there's something about that sandwich that isn't quite what you were hoping it was going to be. If you don't mind, I'll be happy to replace it for something else. And my friend is, no, it's okay. Michael persisted. He said, no, really, if you don't mind, I'll point out my favorite sandwich on the menu. If you'll let me replace it for you, I'm sure you're going to love it. My friend said, oh, okay. Michael took that tuna salad sandwich, ripped it back to the kitchen. Moments later, he comes flying out of the kitchen. He's got the replacement sandwich. He puts it down in front of my friend and says, here, try this. 3 minutes later, he circles around again to my friend and says, how's the sandwich? My friend said, Good, thank you. Michael said, you know, the most important thing for us is that you are happy. He said, thank you very much. Now, we finished our lunch, and we left a nice big tip for Michael. We went back to the office, and our friends said, how's the new sandwich shop? What do you think we said? Good or bad? Good, but don't order the... Yeah, you see, the service was so good it overcame a temporary problem in the product category. The opposite is also true. Bad service mindset can mess it up. About 5 years ago, I was teaching a class for some senior staff, sophisticated people, and about halfway through the morning, I noticed there was a very attractive Singaporean in the group who needed extensive tutorial assistance. So I ended up marrying her. We were dating for a while, and I wanted to ask her to marry me. I wanted to pop the question, you know, will you marry? So I thought, well, I'll make a big deal of it. I invited her to go out to dinner with me to the most expensive French restaurant in Singapore. This place is so expensive that when they give the menu to the women, there's no prices listed on their menu. True. Guys, if you ever find yourself at one of those restaurants, be prepared for serious damage right there in your wallet. Now, she knew that something special, I have a special question I want to ask you. And so she got all dressed up. And we go to the restaurant. The environment, it is so elegant. The maître d', he is so sophisticated. The menu, it is so expensive. The food, it is so delicious. But all night long, the waiter, he was a jerk. I'm saying, excuse me, he could ignore me. Then things get romantic, you know, we're talking, and the waiter's right there. Get out of here, man, get out of here. My fiance wore something, you know, a little bit revealing, right? So he positions himself right there. Yes, I'll take the order. And get out of here, you. Now, the next day, people knew I was taking her out there. They said, how did it go? I said, good news, bad news. They said, huh? I said, the good news is, she said yes. They, oh, Ron, congratulations. You're going to get married. She's the right girl for you. What's the bad news? I said, the waiter, he was a jerk. Now, let me ask you a question. Will I ever go back to that restaurant? Yes or no? No. Will I suggest to my friends that they should go? No. And you know what? Michael, I'm sorry, the waiter, I'm sure, is long gone. But what do I remember? One guy, lousy service mindset, overwhelms and destroys the investment in a fabulous French product and impeccable delivery system. Now, I want you to talk to your partner for a second. I got a quick question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is woohoo, 1 is yuck. How do your customers rate you in terms of your product, your systems for delivery, and your service mindset? Turn to your partner. You got 15 seconds. Go. Now let me talk to you straight. Let me talk to you straight, folks. This is Malaysia, boy. Yeah, good. But you know what? You know all this little between Singapore and Malaysia, I think that's a waste of time. We're not competing with each other. We're competing with Brazil. We're competing with South Africa. We're competing with Hungary. Everybody else in the whole world wants your business. They want the investment that could come here. They don't want it to go here. They want it to go there. I say, no, it should come here. But you know what? They got a product every bit as good as we do. They got telephone systems every bit as good as we do. What are we going to have that's better? Yeah. So let's work together. Turn the page. I want to talk about this next page here. Got stairs, right? I want to talk to you about standards. Let's start near the bottom, not at the bottom, but near the bottom. The minimum fundamentals. I use the word basic, B-A-S-I-C, basic. Like when I take a taxi, to me the taxi should have 4 wheels. If it doesn't have 4 wheels, I'm not getting in. That's why I don't ride tuk-tuks. Doesn't meet the basic. And the taxi driver should get me from A to B, and when I get to B, I'm still breathing. That's basic, right? Let's go up one level. Above basic is what's normal, traditional. I use the word expected. For example, when you get in that taxi, don't you expect that the taxi driver knows how to get where you want to go? Have you ever gotten into a taxi and the taxi driver goes, where are you going? And you tell him and he goes, where's that? How do you feel when that happens? Oh, man. Now you have to stay alert the whole time. Get on the highway, go to the 3rd exit, down to the traffic light, turn right, 2nd stop sign, turn. You see, he still gets you there. He still meets the basic, but it's not what you expected. Now let's go up one level. What you hope for. It would be nice. I call it desired. For example, don't you hope that you get a good driver? Don't you hope that the car is in new condition? Don't you hope that the taxi driver smells good? You hope, but you don't expect it. Let's go up another level. Above desired is, ooh, I call it surprising. Ooh, unexpected. When I come back from my trips overseas, I usually have 3 suitcases. One for my clothing, one for the props and products that I bring, and other for gifts to go back and forth between the 2 different countries. I fly back to Singapore airport. We load 2 of my suitcases in the back, in the boot, and we put one in the front seat. I sit in the back seat on my way home. Taxi driver drives up to the end of the parking lot. There's 25 meters more from the edge of the parking lot to the elevator that goes up to the 31st floor where I live. Every once in a while, a taxi driver will take out my 3 suitcases and look at the situation. 3 suitcases, 25 meters, 1 botak angmo. Every once in a while, the taxi driver will say, come on, I'll give you a hand, and pick up 2 of my bags. Walk with me the 25 meters, put them down at the elevator. Surprising. Now, service is a 2-way street. If he does that for me, what will I do for him? Yeah, a surprisingly nice tip. But you know what? I don't even hope that he's going to do it because I don't want to be disappointed, and I certainly don't expect it. Let's go up one more level. Above surprising, astonishing, incredible. I call it unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, I want to share with you a personal observation I've made over the years about this category called unbelievable, because when you hit unbelievable product, something happens. When you have unbelievable delivery systems, something happens. But when you hit unbelievable service mindset, something different happens. Let me give you 3 separate stories, and I'll illustrate what I mean. Let's start with product. What is the black thing that hangs on your belt that every once in a while goes, beep, 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 beep? What do you call that? The old ones that were, beep, beep, beep. What did you call them? Beepers. Why did you call it a beeper? That's all it could do, beep, 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 right? And everybody said, oh, that's pretty basic. At a certain point, the companies that make the beepers realize that beeping someone at a concert or at dinner or in a theater is not always very polite. So they came up with an advancement. They moved up one level. Now you can be eating makan with your friend and suddenly they go, and you say, hey, you got a call. And they go, yeah, I know. It's a vibrating pager, right? Today, isn't that expected? Now, you can buy a pager that will show you the number. You can also buy a pager that will give you the message. It's called an alphanumeric pager. Don't you agree with me that those are designed? They can go up one more level. You don't have it here yet, but they have it in Japan, the United States, and in parts of Europe. It's a pager that not only gets the message, but there's an extra set of buttons. You can send a message back. So your pager is not only a receiver, it's also a transmitter. Ooh, surprising! So your broker can send you stock quotations. You just hit a button, buy, sell. Your spouse sends you a message. What time are you coming home, dear? Hit a button, 5 o'clock. Hit a button, 7 o'clock. Hit a button, I'm not coming home. Boom, boom. She goes, surprising. Now, today, you can buy a pager that clips on your belt. You can get one that looks like a pen. You can buy a pager that's the shape of a credit card. You can get a pager that's built into your watch. Now they're developing pagers that will be built into the frame of your glasses. Cool. Except they have a problem. They can't vibrate your face. And they can't beep you either because it's too close to your ear. So you know what they're doing? On the inside of the glass, facing you so you can see it but nobody else can see it, is a little LCD panel. Now you know Times Square when the message comes across the building, right? So now you get it, you're walking along, you go, oh. Excuse me, I have a phone call. Cool, right? The Japanese have already gone the next step. You know how computers now come with these little video cameras on them, right? In the future, a page is going to be a little video message. So the Japanese on the inside of the glass have put full motion, full color television screens. So now you can be somewhere and suddenly your mother shows up. Mom, what are you doing here? Never mind about her. What do you want? Oh, man. Don't you agree with me that that is what? But what do you think your grandchildren are going to say about those glasses? Oh, Grandpa, I have that on my contact lens. See, here's the point. Here's the point. Any innovation in your product will start out being a wow. And after a while, it's going to go right down to basic and expected. Right. And that's the nature of the beast. Every product innovation, that's going to happen to. What about delivery systems? Let's go here. I'm going to change industries. Let's go to banking. When you were a little boy or a little girl and you went to the bank with your mother or your father, where was the bank? Was it near your house? No, it was downtown, the main bank, remember? That was pretty basic. Today, where do you expect to find the bank? Right, where you live, where you work, where you travel, where you eat, where you go for recreation. It's called branch banking. But sometimes those branches are closed. So what did they give us? ATM machines. Ah, desired. Hey, who was the first bank to put out an ATM machine? Ask your partner. Go. Who was the first bank? Who was it? Are you sure? You know what my answer is? Who cares? I mean, who cares who came first? Because now they all got it. So now you're seeing more advancements in delivery systems. Telephone banking, right? Internet banking, wireless banking. I was in Seattle, Washington last year, and I saw this in terms of delivery system for banking. It was 11:30 in the morning. I was visiting a friend in an office building near the downtown area. I said to her, Michelle, let's go to lunch. She said, well, that's great, but I need to make a deposit for my company at the bank, and I also need to use my ATM card and get some cash. I said, no problem. Let's just go to a restaurant near one of the branches of your bank. You can do them both at the same time. She said to me, that's not how we do our banking anymore. I said, what do you mean? She said, I guess you've never seen this before. Watch. She went over to her telephone and she hit a speed dial button. And it went, boop, 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 boop. And then I heard, which means that she had reached a fax machine or a computer modem. As soon as she heard the, she hit a button on her keypad, boop, boop, and then she hung up. So I walked over to her fax machine, which was right between two computer printers, and I waited. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting for the money." She said, "No." And I said, "Well, then what's going on?" She said, "Hold on." That moment, the phone rang. She picked up the phone, looked at me and said, "It's good news," and hung up the phone. Now, hey, all morning long, Michelle had been a paragon of good service mindset on the phone. "Good morning, this is Michelle. How may I help you?" "Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. If there's anything else you need, feel free to call me back." On this call, she didn't say hello. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't say thank you. It's like there was nobody there. But she's telling me it's good news. I said, "What is going on?" She said, "Come on, I'll show you." We went down the elevator. We walked into the parking lot. As we stepped into the parking lot, an armored car drove into the parking lot of her office building with an ATM machine built into the side of the armored car. She waved at the driver and made her bank deposit. Pulled out her ATM card, stuck it in, boom, out came the money. Waved at the driver. He drove away. She looked at me and said, "Come on, let's have lunch." I'm going, how? And she explained. Commerce Bank in Seattle, Washington is a business-to-business bank. They have 5 armored cars. Those armored cars patrol around Seattle waiting for a call. When she hit that speed dial number, boop, 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 it called the bank's computer. The computer had inbound caller ID, so it knew who was calling. It gave her the tone, and she went, boop, boop. That was a code. The code meant immediate pickup. The computer looked up at the global positioning system of satellites, which looked back down on Seattle, and knew where the 5 armored cars were. There was one near her office with no previous pickup in the queue. So the computer sent a signal to the LCD panel in front of the driver, giving him a map, showing him where he was and where she was, because it knew where he was and it knew where she was too. Then the computer called her back. And a recorded voice said, "Thank you for calling Commerce Bank. The mobile service will be there to attend to you in approximately 2 minutes. Have a nice day." Which is why when she picked up the phone, she said, "It's good news," but there was nobody there. I said, "Michelle, this is unbelievable." And she said to me, "You know, when the service first came out, we all thought it was pretty surprising. On a day like today, I get what I hope for, which is that they can come quickly. Some days it takes as long as 15 or 20 minutes, and on a busy day it takes as long as an hour. Come on, let's have lunch." See, what to me was unbelievable to her on that day had already slipped down to... See, what to me was unbelievable to her on that day had already slipped down to desire. And the same thing is true about every single innovation in delivery. Whether you use the internet or the telephone or a fax-back system, whether it's a service counter 24 hours, I don't care what it is, it's going to start out as a wow, and it's rapidly going to become expected. It's the nature of the beast. But something different happens when you hit unbelievable in the service mindset category. And I'll use another story to illustrate, but I need your help on this one. I want to give these terms a little more dynamism. So when you say the word basic, what does it sound like? Let's do it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, you're too excited. See, basic is like this. Basic. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Are you motivated? It's nothing, right? So I would go up one level to expect it. Now, I want you to talk up here in your nose. I want you to cross your arms and think like an accountant. And I want you to say the word expected. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Expected. Good. Now, let's go up one more level. Here's, you got to kind of get your shoulders going here. It's like this. Desire. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Desire. Now, for the next one, you need both hands. They go like this. Surprising. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Surprising. And the last one, you make 2 fists and you pump them up in the air. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Unbelievable. Yeah. All right. Let's cruise up here in this category. Now, I don't own a car. I don't want a car. I live in a really little country. There's no place to go. So I use taxis a lot. And for me, I think a country should have a lot of taxis. And they do. That's basic. Go up one level. If I'm waiting by the side of the street, I figure a taxi should come in about 10 to 15 minutes. That's my expectation. Usually it's met. I go up one more level here, and the taxi company got in touch with me and said, Mr. Kaufman, you use taxis so frequently, we want to invite you to be a corporate account with a special telephone number and a special account number. All you have to do is call us, and we'll tell you the taxi number that will come and pick you up. You don't have to wait by the side of the road. I said, ooh, that's desire. Except when it's raining. You try to call, what do you get? Right? Because everybody else is calling. First thing in the morning, everybody else is calling. Last thing at the end of the day. So it's desire, but it's not so reliable. And then Comfort Taxi, which is the blue taxi company in Singapore, they came up with a fax for a taxi. I said, that's cool. Because if you're trying to fax for the taxi and it's busy, all you do is press the button auto redial. And it tries again and again and again until yours goes through. Then they call you back. In my apartment, I have 2 lines, one for the fax, one for the phone. And what I do is, before I go to bed at night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, I fax for a taxi for the following morning. So that when I wake up and I take my shower and I eat my breakfast, I don't have to worry about calling a taxi. I know there's a taxi coming. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, I fax for a taxi. And the little form says, hello, Comfort Taxi, Ron Kaufman calling, 31st floor, Bayshore Park, pop, pop, pop. And then there's 3 areas I have to fill in by hand. One of them says, please send me a taxi at, and I write the time, 7:30 a.m. My destination is, and I wrote airport, because the next day I had a flight at 8:30. And then there's one more line I added to my form, which makes it different from everybody else's form in Singapore. Usually, when you fax for a taxi, they call you back in 15 minutes. If I fax at 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't want them to call me at 1:15 in the morning. But it would be great if they would call me about 6:30 a.m. Because, like staying here at the hotel, they give me a wake-up call, right? So now, even when I'm at home, the taxi company gives me a wake-up call. I said, please call me at 6:30 a.m. I faxed at 1 o'clock in the morning. I went to sleep. I did not know that at 10:30 that night, when I'd had my last telephone conversation, and I put the phone down, it did not go all the way down. Has that ever happened to you? You put the phone down, it looks like it's down, but it's not all the way down. Do you know you have a problem? No. What happened the next morning? 6:30 a.m. They tried to call me. What did they get? She tried again at 6:35. 6:40. 6:45. She sat there in her radio control room and must have said to herself, oh boy, Mr. Kaufman and I have got a problem. Hey, good thing for me, she had a great service mindset, because she could have very well said, Mr. Kaufman's got a problem. Oh, well, next. I didn't know I had a problem. I was sleeping. 7 o'clock in the morning, my doorbell rang. I woke up and I got a shock, because I looked at the clock. It said 7 a.m. I didn't get my wake-up call. I don't know if there's a taxi coming. I'm half an hour late and I got to get to the airport. And there's somebody at my door. I jumped out of bed, I ran to the door, I yanked open the door. Guess who's standing there on the 31st floor? Taxi driver. I said, what are you doing here? He said, Mr. Kaufman. I said, yeah. He goes, your phone off the hook. I said, how do you know? He said, we've been trying to call you since 6:30. We can't get through. You figured your phone was off the hook. I said, oh my God. He said, you're probably worried. I said, well, he said, because you don't know if there's a taxi coming at 7:30 to take you to the airport. I said, what do you mean you're already here? He said, it's not me. I said, what do you mean it's not you? You see, when you fax for a taxi, they call it 6:30, and the guy who takes the taxi, it wasn't him. He gave me the taxi number of the fellow who was coming half an hour later. He gave me a smile. He said, you better go take a shower. Closed the door in my face. Went and disappeared. I went screaming inside. I took a shower. I go racing downstairs. I jump in the taxi. Whew, made it to the airport on time. On my way to the airport, I realized what that woman must have done. Think about it. She must have gotten on a radio system and called all the taxi drivers in Singapore and said, I need one. Who'll drive to this guy's apartment and park. Walk the 25 meters to his elevator. Go up 31 floors. Find his apartment. Ring the doorbell. Wake him up. Tell him his phone is off the hook. Reassure him that there's a taxi coming. Give him the taxi number of the other driver who already got that call. Remind him to take a shower. Close the door. Walk back to the elevator. Go down 31 floors. Walk the 25 meters. Get back in your taxi and drive away. How much did he get paid? Nothing. I would have given him a big tip, but I was in shock. Now, do you agree with me that that service mindset was what? Unbelievable. Do you think I expect him to do it again? No. Do you think I test him every once in a while, leave my phone off the hook, see what happens? No! But I got to ask you, as a result of that one example 5 years ago, what do you think happened to my loyalty to Comfort Taxi? I'm the kind of guy now, if I'm waiting for taxis, and I'm the next one in line, and the taxis are coming, and let's say the next taxi's a black taxi, and the one after it is blue, you know what I do? Yeah, I step back. I say, you go ahead and take that one, I'll wait for that one. And they look at me like, what's the matter with that one? I say, no, it's okay, you know, you go right ahead. And then they think I'm a tourist. They say, oh, tourist. Yeah. All taxis in Singapore are the same. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes it's exactly the same model. It's just the paint. It's a different color. I know. But that taxi company's my taxi. Unbelievable. Several years ago, Singaporeans started writing nasty letters to the Straits Times complaining about the taxi drivers. Taxi driver doesn't stop in the rain. Taxi driver doesn't help me with my bags. Taxi driver doesn't smell good. Very meow kinds of letters. Somebody wrote an article to the Straits Times. The headline was, "Who can make your day? The taxi driver can." And it praised taxi drivers, talking about how wonderful they could be. And the Straits Times published the article. And after they published the article, they stopped printing the nasty letters to the editor. Who do you think wrote the article? Right. Now, I'm not saying this to get praise from you for me. I'm doing this to tell you that when you hit an unbelievable level of service mindset, people don't expect you to do it again. But their appreciation, their memory, their loyalty to you, hey, that was 5 years ago that happened, and I'm still loyal to Comfort Taxi. Now, I want you to turn to your partner. I want you to be honest. On this scale, where do you rank your service mindset? You got 15 seconds. Ready? Go. All right. Woo! Now, let's be clear. I'm not suggesting that you should try to do this for everybody all the time. You'll go mad. Or you'll go broke. But I am saying that from time to time, if you keep your eyes open, you'll find an opportunity to be able to do this that's going to be really worthwhile. Now, today's talk is all of about 70 minutes. But normally this presentation takes 3 hours. In this tape program, The Secrets of Superior Service is all 3 hours. Lots more stories, lots more strategies, lots more ideas, lots more tips, lots more techniques. The good news is you can get this. The bad news is there's only 30 copies out there. The really good news is that, ma'am, right there in the green scarf, this one's for you. Would you pass that back there for her? Give her a nice clap. Why does she get it? Because service is a two-way street. I'm telling my jokes, she's going, I give you, you give back to me. This one's called Unbelievable. When you invest in a product, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. It says, hey, this is valuable for me. I can use this. I can learn something. Let me get a copy. This one's right there for you, sir, in the blue tie. That's right. No, the one behind you. You don't have a blue tie, sir. You got to yell, hey, whoop, you can pass it back. Let's give him a clap. Yeah. I got one more category here. This category down below is below basic. Horrible, terrible, lousy. I call it unbelievable. All right. You guys are great. Turn the page. In a world like we have today, people's expectations are going which way? Up or down? Up all the time. And you do the best you can to try to meet their expectations, but once in a while, no matter how hard you try, you're not going to be able to meet their expectations. Isn't that true? It's true. What do you do then? What do you do then? We have people come up to the airport, they're late, they say, get me on that flight. The flight's already gone. We can't say, excuse me, Captain, can you bring the plane back, please? We have one more. No! What do? A guy comes up, he's late. The plane is still here. He says, I want an aisle seat near the front. Make it fast. Ooh, we've trained the people behind the counter how to handle this. First thing you do, see if there is an aisle seat near the front. If there is, lock it in, take it, it's yours. Nobody's going to take it away. But don't tell him you got it, because he's already in a bad mood. Instead, work with him a little bit. Say, sir, it's quite a full flight. Now, when he hears that, is that going to make him happier or less happy? And then you say, and sir, you're a little bit late. But I can see this is important to you. Hold on one moment, I'll call the gate. Call. Hello, gate? Yes, I have one more for flight. Ask you. Yeah, I know he's late. I know it's a full flight. That's why we've called you. Could you help me out here, please? Yeah. No, please try again. It's very important to this fellow. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You got one? Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, what's this guy doing during that call? Guess what? There's no one on the phone. What are we doing to the guy? We're managing expectations. Managing customer expectations. How do you do that? I want to share with you one tactic. It's a tactic that you can use to manage people's expectations. Now, for most of you, I imagine your company has paid for you to be here. So you should get some value from the seminar for business application. But we're all human beings, too. We got loved ones, we got relationships, we got families. I want you to learn something you can use in your personal life as well. I fly down to Jakarta on a regular basis to do seminars for the banks in Indonesia. A colleague of mine who's very strong in banking comes with me. He does the banking, I do the service. It's a 2-day seminar for senior managers. We take the first flight in the morning from Singapore to Jakarta. We do the seminar. We stay overnight, one night in the hotel. We do the second day of the seminar. We take the last flight from Jakarta back to Singapore. So we're only gone from our families for one night. Because we're taking the first flight in the morning, we got to leave the house at about 5:30 a.m. His wife drives him to the airport. I'm right on the way, so they pick me up. We're at the airport. We're getting out of the car. She said to him, "Sweetheart, will you call me tonight?" He said, "Of course I will, honey." That was to her, not to me. I'm not Joe Girard, all right? I lived in California, but it didn't infect me that way, you know? We get down to Jakarta, we do the seminar, we check into the hotel. I knock on his door, I say, "Come on, let's get some dinner." He said, "Hold on, I got to call my wife." I said, right, I remember you told her you were going to call. "Listen, I'll go back to my room, you come and tell me." And he said, no, it's okay, sit down. So I sat down in his room and he called his wife. The call went like this. "Hi, honey. How's everything?" "Good. The kids?" "Okay, good. Yeah, seminar's fine. We'll be here one night. I'll be back tomorrow night." "Okay, sweetheart. Yeah, I love you too. I love you. Good night." Click. The next morning as we were checking out, he had to pay for that telephone call. The hotel in Jakarta that they put us in puts a 250% charge on top of the normal price of the telephone call. And he's going, "Oh man, this is a ripoff. I want to talk to the manager. I don't want to pay this. This isn't fair." And I'm standing there going, "Hey, come on, we got to teach. Would you please hurry up? We got to go." And he goes, "No, hey, this is a principle thing." "Oh, excuse me." Now, he ended up paying the bill, but he was in a bad mood all morning because of that one phone call charge. The next month, he and I flew back down to Jakarta to do the same seminar for another group of managers from this bank. 5:30 in the morning. We're driving to the airport. We're getting out of the car. His wife said to him, "Honey, will you call me tonight?" I'm going, deja vu. I've been here before. He says to her, "Sweetheart, we're only going to be gone just one night. You know, this hotel, they put a 250% surcharge. Is it all right with you if I don't call just for one night?" And she goes, "Of course, honey, I understand." To him, not to me. Right? And so we fly down, we do the seminar. We check into the hotel. I knock on his door. I say, "Hey, come on, let's get some dinner." He goes, "Hold on a second, I got to call my wife." I said, "No, you don't. I was there. You told her you're not going to call. She's not expecting you to call. Let's go have some dinner." He goes, "I know. Come on in. Sit down." So I go in and I sit down. He calls his wife. The conversation goes like this. "Hi, honey." I could hear her. She goes, "Ah, you called." He starts to milk it. He goes, "I missed you so much." She goes, "Oh, I miss you too." He goes, "How are our precious children? Oh, darling, you mean everything to me, blah, 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 blah." He talks for 4 times as long as the previous month. The next morning, we're checking out. He's paying for the call with a smile. I go, "Kind of expensive, huh?" He goes, "No, I don't mind." I go, "No, wait a minute. Last month, it was a short call, and you were all upset. This month, you talk a long time, you don't mind." He goes, "Ron, come on, you teach this stuff. If I tell her I'm going to call, and then I call, what happens? She expects it. Every once in a while, Ron, I tell her I'm not going to call. And then I call. Just like that. I'm a service quality husband." I look at him and I go, "Yeah, you know, that's a good idea." He goes, "Ron, it's better than that. Service is a two-way street." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Last night I gave her great service on the phone." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Tonight we're going home." I said, "Good idea, man. Wow." It's a tactic. It's called under promise. Promise less than you know that you can deliver. Sometimes. It's a tactic. You can't use it all the time. But after you underpromise, you're in position to do what? Over-deliver. It's a tactic. There's also a strategy. I don't have time to cover it today, but it's in the tapes. Let's go to the next page. Everything I'm talking about so far is what happens when service goes right. Does service always go right? No, sometimes it goes wrong. What do you do then? Let's take a look. Let's say we take you and we send you off to a foreign country. We're going to ask you to run the local office in Bangkok, Thailand. We'll get you a nice condominium. We're going to get you a good office, but there's some things that you have to do for yourself, like open your checking account. So you look across the street, you see two banks side by side, right next to each other. Does that happen? It does, right? Branch banking, right? So you remember Ron Kaufman's session. You go, I'm going to go to the bank that has a better checking account product. Minimum balance, number of checks, per month charge, interest on the balance in the checking account, overdraft charge. It turns out they're exactly the same. Does that happen? Sure does. So you decide, fine, I'm going to go to the bank that's got better delivery systems. Who's got more branches? Who's got more ATMs? Who's got 24-hour support on the phone? It turns out they're exactly the same. And you know what? You can't judge based upon service mindset when you're going to open an account. Because when you go to open an account, everybody's nice to you. So you flip a coin. Okay, you go to the one on the right. You walk in, you fill out the paperwork. 2 weeks later, you go home, you open up the mailbox, and inside is a letter, a package from the bank. What's inside? Your checks. They spell your name correctly. You use the checks. You pay your bills. You give checks to people you owe money to. At the end of the month, you get your checking account statement. Everything is accurate. Your loyalty to that bank goes which way? Up or down? How high? Come on, show me with your fingers, everybody. Ready? How high?
Yeah, and like a bit.
Why? Because you've now got your checking account. Write it down. Now, you've been there for 2 months. Every time you use your credit card from your local Malaysian bank, will they accept that credit card in Thailand? Yes or no? Yes. That's the whole point of having Visa and MasterCard. So you go ahead, you use your credit card from your Malaysian, and your Malaysian bank will do you a wonderful favor. Every month, they will take all the charging that you do in Thai baht, and they will convert it over to Malaysian ringgit. Do you ever notice on the statement that they never really show you, right, the rate of exchange? Ever wonder why? Well, after you've been there for 3 months in Thailand, you pull out the calculator one day and go, tuk, 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 whoa. And you realize why they don't show you the rate of exchange, because they're making money. Now, if you're going to be in Thailand for 3 years, you figure it's time to get yourself a credit card in the local currency. Which bank will you go to? Will you go back to the same bank? Yeah, because you've got some loyalty here, right? But if the other bank had a credit card with a lower annual fee or a lower interest amount on your outstanding balance, would you switch? Might. So you check them out. They're exactly the same. So you've already got some loyalty to this bank, so you go back. You fill out the paperwork. 2 weeks later, you come home. You open up the mailbox. There's a little package from the bank. You open it up. What's inside? Your credit card. You start to use the card. People accept the card. You get your monthly statement. Everything is accurate. Your loyalty to the bank goes which way? Up or down? How high? Show me with your fingers. Yeah, a little bit more. You've now got the card. Now you've been in Bangkok for 5 months, and you're sick and tired of taxis in Bangkok because sometimes the air conditioning doesn't work and you're stuck in traffic. And sometimes the taxi driver insists upon playing the radio and the speaker is broken and you can't stand it. And one day you get in the taxi and you can see the road running along underneath the floorboard. Yeah! You decide it's time to buy a car. You go out shopping. You pick for yourself a brand new BMW 700 series with a sunroof. 6 speakers on the inside. A 40 CD changer in the boot. You have them customize it. Take out the back seat. Put in a small jacuzzi. But to buy this incredible car, you need a car loan. Which bank do you go to for the car loan? Same bank. In fact, by now, you're starting to call it my bank. What do you call your bank? My bank. You know what? In Thailand, they don't say that. So your staff says to you, where are you going? You say, I'm going down to my bank. They go, oh, you own the bank? Well, no, it's just what we call. You fill out the paperwork. They give you the loan. You get the car. You're driving your new car. Your loyalty to the bank goes which way? Up or down? Up. How high? More. You've got the car. When you opened up your checking account, how many people do you tell about your brand new checking account? Anybody? No. When you get yourself a new credit card, how many people do you tell about your new credit card? Anybody? Can you imagine if you walked into the office and said, look at that, got myself a credit card. You know what they'd say? Oh, is that your first one? No, you keep it to yourself. What about when you buy a brand new BMW 700 series, 6 speakers, 40 CD changer in the boot, and a jacuzzi in the back seat? How many people do you tell about your brand new car? Everybody. How many people do you tell about your car loan? Nobody. You walk around saying things like, paid cash. Now everything's going along fine. You come home from work one day, you open up your mailbox, and there's your monthly credit card statement. You open it up as you're going up the elevator. Hold on, something doesn't look right. As soon as you get upstairs, you go to your files, you pull out your banking files, you open up the credit card file, you take out last month's credit card statement, and you put it side by side with this month's credit card statement. You start to compare. Hey, there's a hotel. It's on my card again this month. I didn't go back again this month. I already paid it last time. There's a restaurant, same number. I didn't. Clothing store, Hey, this bank is taking charges off of last month's account and they're putting it on again. They're double billing me. This bank is ripping me off. Which way does your loyalty go? Up or down? How far? Bam! Drops like a rock. How many people do you tell? Everybody. You pick up the phone and you call the credit card office. Give them a piece of your mind. Hi, can I help you? Yeah, you can help me. I got a problem here with my credit card. You take a look and she goes, oh, sir, what seems to be the problem? You say, you tell you the problem. You pull up this month's statement and last month's statement and put them side by side. You got 3 charges on there, a hotel, a restaurant, a clothing store. I didn't go back a second time. You're billing me twice. You're ripping me off. She goes, oh, sir, yeah, I can see exactly what you mean. He goes, of course you can see what I mean. You think I'm crazy? She says, no, sir, I didn't say you were crazy. Upset, yes, but crazy, no, I didn't say you were crazy. What are you going to do about it? She goes, it's done, sir. It's done. What do you mean it's done? It's done. I've posted a credit for the full amount of those 3 charges to your credit card. You'll see it offsetting your outstanding balance on next month's statement. And, sir, please accept my apologies for the inconvenience. You're still upset. You say, don't let it happen again. Boom, hang up the phone. Where does your loyalty go? Up or down? Up. How high? A little bit. She fixed the problem. That afternoon, somebody calls you. It's the branch manager. Says, I'd like to speak to you. And you go, yep, this is me. And he says, sir, I'm the branch manager from your bank, Mr. So-and-so, and And you say, what do you want? And he says, well, I was informed by one of our credit card officers that we inconvenienced you with a small billing error on your credit card statement. And, well, sir, and you say, yeah, well, never mind. She fixed the problem. And he says, well, sir, ma'am, I know that she fixed the problem, but I just thought I'd give you a call and, well, see if we could fix things up a little better with you. And you say, well, what do you mean? And he says, sir, I was looking through your account records, and I noticed that you have your checking account, your credit card, and your car loan all with our branch of the bank. And you say, yeah, that's true. And he says, well, sir, as I was going through the records, I noticed what kind of car you bought. And you go, yeah. He says, well, sir, we've never had anybody buy as nice a car as you bought with a loan from our branch. And you go, well, got to drive, you know. And he goes, sir, you know, if you don't mind, I'm kind of an aficionado of new cars. The next time you come down to the branch, would you mind looking me up so I can take a look at your brand new car? And you say, yeah, sure. What'd you say your name was? And he says, the name is so-and-so. And sir, if you would write down my direct phone line, then if you need any other banking services, you can call upon me personally. I'll be happy to take care of you. And you say, sure. What'd you say your name? And you write that down. You write his number down on one of those little scraps of paper next to the telephone. Honestly, how long are you going to keep that? A couple of days, maybe a week, and then where does it go? Into the garbage can. You're about to hang up, and you say to the guy, you know, I didn't expect you to make this phone call. And he says, well, to be perfectly honest, sir, we didn't expect to make the mistake. But as long as it happened, I wanted to use it as an opportunity to let you know how much we appreciate that you do your banking with our branch of the bank. And now you're in a good mood, and you say, well, thank you very much. Have a good night. And he says, thank you, sir. Thank you. Good night. Click, click. Where does your loyalty go? Up or down? Up. How high? Yeah, well, it goes back up to where it was before the problem ever happened. There's a phrase for this we use in the service training industry. We call it service recovery. And you know what? It's a good name because, look, we recovered the ground that you lost. It's like falling in a hole and digging your way back out. Hey, but look what you put your customer through. Fortunately, this bank realized that when a problem happens, you can use it as a big opportunity to increase your customer's loyalty. And a week later, you come home and you open up the mailbox and there's another package from the bank, but you're not expecting anything. You're going up the elevator, you open it up, and inside there's a nice letter, and it's something made out of leather. So what is this? You start to read the letter. It says, Dear Mr. You, I was recently informed by your branch manager, Mr. So-and-so, that we inconvenienced you with a small billing error on your credit card statement, which has since been rectified. Upon review of your account, I note that you have your checking account, credit card, and car loan all with the branch of the bank. As an expatriate in Thailand, at which point in reading the letter you realize what you're reading is one of those highly personalized, computerized letters. As an expatriate in Thailand, I thought you might be interested in some of the other services we can provide. And the next paragraph talked about the foreign currency deposits you could get through the bank. And the one after that talked about the insurance policies you could buy through the bank. And the one after that talked about the trading you could do on the Thai stock exchange through your branch of the bank. And then it said, should any of these services be of interest to you, please feel free to call your branch manager, Mr. So-and-so, at his direct phone line. And there's that phone number again. What are you going to do with this piece of paper? Put it in your files, and the next time you need service, you know where to go. And then it says, P.S. As a gesture of goodwill and appreciation for your understanding in that prior matter, enclosed with this letter, you will find a small travel wallet. Compliments of the bank. It's one of those cheap ones they give away when you open a new account. It doesn't cost them very much, but you did not expect it. Where does your loyalty to the bank go? Boom! It shoots up. And then over time, you get your foreign currency deposits and your insurance, and you do your trading with the stock exchange with the bank. Now, folks, I want you to look real carefully at what's inside this circle. And let's ask ourselves, what does it say? If a customer has a problem with your organization or with you or your company, and you fix the problem, you're only going to get back that much of the loyalty that you lost. And you know what? I'll bet in most of your organizations when something goes wrong, people say, hey, I fixed the problem. Like the story's over. The story is not over. If you fix the problem and you're nice about it, you'll get back to where you were before the problem ever happened. But if you do something more, something extra, something a little bit unexpected, you could actually bounce their loyalty up higher than if the problem never even happened. I call this bouncing back with outstanding service recovery, and I want you to write it down. Bouncing back with impeccable service recovery. Now, my story is about a bank. But you all don't work in banks. Some of you do, but most of you don't. So let me give you one more story, but it'll make it a personal story about you. And then you tell me whether or not you think this principle is really true. I want you to leave this seminar today, this Congress, and I want you to go out, and I want you to find a boutique that sells Italian leather shoes. And I want you to find yourself a brand new pair of Italian leather shoes, and I want you to pay 700 ringgit cash. When you get home with your brand new shoes, what are you going to do with the shoe box? Hey, for 700 ringgit, you're going to keep the box. What are you going to do with the bag that has the brand on the side of the bag? Keep it. Ladies are all going, keep it, keep it. What do you do with them? I don't know, but never mind. Keep it. What are you going to do with that little piece of paper that's your cash receipt? Oh, come on. You don't have a big pile of cash receipts at home. What are you going to do with it? Throw it out. A week later, I want you to go walking down the street wearing your brand new shoes, and you're going to step on one of those metal grates in the sidewalk. And as you lift up, you're going to feel a tug. Turn around just in time to see that the heel has popped off and is going splash into the water. You're going to go, oh, and start walking like this. Oh my goodness. These are my brand. I just paid 700 ringgit, and the heel shouldn't pop off my brand new shoe. And by the time you get home, you are absolutely committed to returning these shoes. So you take the shoes and you put them back in the shoebox. You put the shoebox back in the bag. You take the bag and you go back down to that boutique, and you go walking in to return these shoes. But as you walk up, you're a little bit nervous because you don't have your... Never mind. You get up to the counter and the fella goes, hi, can I help you? You say, yeah, I just bought these brand new shoes here, and well, as you can see, and he opens up the top and goes, hey, the heel popped off. And you say, exactly right, you know, brand new shoes, I didn't think it should happen. I came to return them so I can get a new pair of shoes. He goes, no problem. Do you have your... What do you do? Well, no, I paid cash, but you remember me, don't you? I mean, I was here just a week ago. Don't you remember me? At that moment, how anxious do you feel? Real anxious. Now imagine he looks at you, gives you a smile, and says, we do sell that brand of shoe here. I am so glad that you brought them back so we can set this right. Takes the box and puts it under the counter on his side, gives you a nice big smile and says, now, would you like another pair of the same model, same shoe, same size, or would you like a credit for the full amount? And you can look at some of the new shoes that just came in. How do you feel? Whew. Relieved. You say, no, same shoes. Actually, I like it, same model, if you could just... And he goes, no problem. Goes in the back, gets you another brand new pair of the same shoes, same model, same size. You take them, you try them on, you check the heel, you know. See. You put a brand new shoes, you go, oh, thank you so much. He puts them in the bag. You're almost out the door. And he goes, hold on 1 minute. And he goes, now hold on a second. And he goes over to the rack that has the branded socks hanging from it. And he spins the rack, and he looks at you, and he looks at your shoes. Picks one of the socks, folds it up, and puts it inside a little paper bag, folds it shut and tapes it. Walks over to you and says, for you, a gesture of appreciation to thank you for coming back so that we could set this right. And you're looking at him going, thank you. Thank you. That is very nice of you. Thank you very much. And out you go. The next time you buy yourself a pair of expensive Italian leather shoes, would you go back to that shop? Yes or no? Yeah, you would bring back your repeat business. Would you tell other people about it? Yes, you would spread positive word of mouth. Hey. You would go back to that same boutique. But that boutique sells shoes where the heels pop off. Let's face it. Heels pop off in life, right? I mean, figuratively and literally, things go wrong. You never know when, but what you do know is that if something goes wrong with something you bought from that boutique, they're going to set you right. You don't know that about any other boutique in all of Malaysia, so your loyalty to that shop goes higher than if the problem had never happened. So maybe your strategy for building your business should be to go out and mess it up for all your customers. No, I'm kidding. I can see you now. Hey, boss, I got a great idea. You know? No, don't do that. Don't do that. But what I am saying is when something goes wrong, use it to your advantage and set it right. Now, let me ask you a question about that young man, the clerk. Do you think he woke up one day and said, oh, I have a brilliant idea. I'm going to give away socks? No. It wasn't the clerk's idea. Somebody in the organization, someone in management, someone at supervisory level made the decision that they were going to build a strategy for service recovery so that whenever something goes wrong, you know you're going to get them back up high again. They were smart. They'd thought it through. Have you? What did that pair of socks cost them? 10 ringgit wholesale, maybe less? You think they're going to make the money back with the next purchase of shoes? Oh, yeah. What about you? I want you to turn to your partner. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Do you have a strategy for service recovery that guarantees that when something goes wrong for one of your customers, boom, you're going to bounce them back up? If you do, tell your partner, what is it? If you don't, tell your partner, what should it be? You got 30 seconds. Ready? Go. All right. Woo! Maybe you're wondering, what I'm talking about now is no longer customer satisfaction. Everybody's going for customer satisfaction. It's a commodity today. Oh, well, we're for customer delight. That's cute. Shows your competition. The only thing that matters today is customer loyalty. Building up not only an excellent mindset, but an excellent service relationship that builds up long-term with your customers. So that they say, hey, when it comes to that industry, there's only one company I want to be doing business with, the same company I've been doing business with, your business. In this program, Service Encounters of the Third Kind, I talk about how you shift from customer satisfaction to customer delight, from customer delight to customer loyalty. That's why it's the third kind. Invest in these tapes and you get a lot. You can watch the video. You can listen to the audio while you're driving or exercising. You can use the workbook. Important ideas, strategies, techniques. And this pack goes to that young lady right there in yellow because she's going, me, me. Okay, you win. Would you pass that back to her, please? All right. For the rest, I love you too. For the rest of you, they're going to be available all along here and just outside. And you guys got good news. Somebody said the Malaysian economy is not... And I say, oh, Ron, you got to give him a discount. You got to give him a really big discount. Ron, you got to give him a big, 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 big discount. And Richard Tam was going boom, boom, boom on my head. You guys got the biggest discount of anybody in the region. Talk to you about it later, but it's just here just today. Now, let's go to the last one. Does all this stuff make sense? Isn't it common sense? Yeah, if it's such common sense, though, how come we don't find more organizations that have excellent service? Good question, isn't it? It's a question that I always start by asking the front line. I go into a new organization and I say, how come service isn't better around here? And you know what the front line always says to me? Are you kidding? With managers like we've got? They say, do what I say, not what I do. They say, cut the budget, cut the budget, cut the budget. So I go to the managers, I go, hey managers, how come service isn't better around here? You know what they always say to me? Are you kidding? With frontline staff like we've got? Now, what do you call this? Finger pointing, right? But I also learned in Asia we call it Tai Chi. I know you la. I'm an American. I call it what I see it. I call it at the bottom of the barrel, B-L-A-M-E, blame. Hey, I got a question for you. Does blame improve service in your organization? Yes or no? Does it make things worse? Yeah, it does, because you get people upset. It demoralizes everybody. Nobody can do a good job. So then people start to realize that every time I point my finger and I blame you, there's 3 fingers pointing back at me. And they go, oh, maybe I'm accountable for this. Maybe it's partly my fault. And then they start to realize, oh gosh, you know, I made the same mistake twice. Or, oh, I didn't work as hard as I could have. I knew I should have, but I didn't. And then they start to feel ashamed. And one level up from blame is blaming yourself, which I call shame. Does shame improve service in your organization? Yes or no? No. Can you imagine trying to improve service in an organization where everybody's walking around going, I'm so stupid. I made the same mistake again. Of course not. So then we got to move up. Move up. We say, I'm not going to blame you. You're not going to blame me. I'm not going to blame me. You're not going to blame you. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's the computer's fault. It's the system's fault. It's the budget's fault. It's the schedule's fault. It's the policy's fault. It's the procedure's fault. It's the process fault. Make an excuse. One level up from shame is justify. Justification. Hey, does justification improve service inside your organization? Yes or no? No. There's only one group of people that should operate below this blue line. Lawyers. And I'm glad I ain't one of them. You go, well, you got a problem with lawyers. The only place that you can go, that you have to go, if you really want to improve service in your organization, or ladies and gentlemen, if you want Malaysia, boleh, you got to go above the blue line. And that means that every single one of us means we have to commit ourselves to take personal what is it? Yeah, responsibility. And I choose my words real carefully. I don't say, wait to be given personal responsibility. I don't say, hang around to see it because some shows up. I say, you got to take personal responsibility. Now, what does that mean? That means that within your area of responsibility, your job, you will do every single thing that you can to do the best you can do. You will follow through. You will go the extra mile. You will learn about your product. You'll learn about your delivery system. You'll study. You'll upgrade yourself. You'll commit yourself to learn, improve, and grow. You'll take every action you possibly can within your area of responsibility to be the best. It also means that you will reach outside of your immediate area of responsibility. You will extend your circle of influence. If you see something coming down the pike that doesn't affect you, but you know it's going to affect your partner in another department, you're the one that picks up the phone and calls and said, hey, I just noticed something I thought you ought to know. If you've got an idea to improve the whole organization, you're the one that raises your hand and says, I got a suggestion. I got a recommendation. Could we have a meeting? Let's initiate a conversation here. I want to help make everything go better. Take personal responsibility. Now, when I travel, when I travel, which is a lot, I like to get good service because I teach about service. The immigration officer, I want to smile. The customs officer, I want a hello. Welcome to the country. On the airplane, I want great service. In the hotel, I want good service. I want the taxi driver to smile. What can I do to take personal responsibility for getting great service? What can I do? I can go, hello, how are you today? How's the kids, the family, everything all right? Good. How's the weather? How's the economy? Oh, crap. I mean, I'll do that when I'm in the mood. But let's face it, I'm human too. And I'm not always going to be in the mood. Hello, how you doing? So you know what I did? I developed these cool little cards. And I printed up 40,000 of these cards. And this little card has a nice sunshine smile on it. And it says, good job. Your service is terrific. And what I do now is I walk up to immigration, right? And before I go to look for my passport, I take this card and I put it on the counter. And then I go look for my passport. And by the time I stand up again, the immigration officer is going, I say, hello, good, very nice. I give him my passport. When I get on board the airplane, first thing I do, I sit down and I say, I'd like to speak to the leading steward, please. The fellow comes over, yes, sir, is there anything wrong? Is there anything wrong? I go, no, not at all. Here, these are for you and your crew. And he takes them and he goes, oh, thank you, sir. And he goes off and he shows everybody else who's on the crew. And I tell you, all during the flight, I've got people going, hello, Mr. Kaufman, is everything all right? Can I get you anything else? Right. Take it. Take personal responsibility. Make it the best it can be because of your actions and your efforts. Now, I want each and every one of you to have one of these cards. Yeah. So today, out here along the product tables, outside, downstairs, wherever you can buy the product, you can go and you can get yourself one of these cards. I want you to take personal responsibility for taking one card. We did this in Singapore a couple days ago. You know the expression, kiasu? I'd say the first 8 people got all the cards, you know, and they're walking. Don't do that! I want to give you an assignment also. I want you not only to take one of these cards and enjoy it, but within 72 hours, I want you to give it away. I want you to find somebody in your life who gives you decent service and say, here, this is for you. Now, if you choose that person and they're a real sour puss, and they just won't smile, then all you have to do is turn the card over. It says, cheer up. Make today a better day for you. Whoa, whoa, hey, we ain't done. Hey, we ain't done. I got one more product here. I just want to tell you about it briefly. It's called Partnership Power. How to get more from the relationships that matter to you most. And this is about building the kind of long-term, successful, mutually beneficial partnerships that you want with your customers, your suppliers, your boss, your subordinates, people in the other department, headquarters, etc., etc., etc. I want you to have a copy. I want you, in red, to have this copy. Would you pass that right back to her, please? Okay, once again, right there in red, let's give her a clap. Talk pricing for a second. The original price in Singapore was the equivalent of about 2,600 ringgit for the whole package. Richard beat on me and beat on me and beat on me, and he said that today the total package seminar price is only 1,700 ringgit. But folks, there's only 30 sets here. So if you're one of the first 30 that goes over and buys the whole set, all the different products are here, you get to take it home today. I'll be happy to autograph it for you if you'd like. If you don't get there in time, they'll back order. They'll have it to you within 1 week. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish your customers outstanding service. I wish you prosperity, good health, and good luck. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Malaysia, Boleh!
Mr. Ron Kaufman.
Thank you.